I was quoted £10,000 to run mains electricity to my garage. Now here's why the main supply to the garage cost more than I expected. The supply had to physically cross the road to reach the garage. This meant a full road closure so the crew could dig the trench safely, which needs permits from the council and highway authorities before anyone can break ground, and because it's the electricity network itself, only National Grid is allowed to carry out the work. There's also the cost involved with installing the meter and reinstating the road. So I decided to see if I could install my own off-grid solar system for a fraction of the price. Previously, I installed panels I'd bought from Facebook Marketplace using solar mounts onto the garage roof and ran cables to a DC isolator. Here I have two 12-volt batteries which I've wired to make it two 12-volt batteries that I've wired to make a 24-volt system. I've then earthed the MPPT to the grounding bus bar I've got here. Then I've run the earthing outside, which I've got a grounding rod in the ground outside. On the negative side, I've just run the 35mm cable to the negative bus bar, and then from the negative bus bar I've got a 10mm cable running to the MPPT. On the positive side then, I've got the 35mm running to a 150 amp fuse running to a switch. This is just to be able to isolate the battery, running to my positive bus bar, running to a 50 amp fuse running to the MPPT. I showed this in the previous video, but I've got the DC isolator for the panels running then to the MPPT. So you can see this is quite clearly, you've got your positive and negative for your solar, positive and negative for the battery, and eventually I'll be able to run the lights directly from the MPPT. So I suppose this is the moment of truth. Let's see if they work. Right, okay. So first thing, I can power up. That's now allowing power from the battery to the fuse. Turn on the fuse. That's positive. Alright, so there is power coming from the batteries to the MPPT. However, no solar at the moment. Let's try turning this on. Alright, so it looks like everything's working there. So at least I'm in a position now where the batteries are being maintained and charged. There's power coming from the panels through the MPPT. I'm actually powering the batteries. So eventually now I need to obviously still need to run the light and the inverter so that I'm able to charge my tools and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll put in the video now what I've spent so far, what everything cost. It's actually a little bit more than I was expecting it to be. But yeah, that's where we are.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Here's what this part of the build actually cost. In case you wanted to find these items, I'll include a link in the description below. Here's a summary of all the costs to date to get to this point in the project. I still need to buy the 2000 watt inverter and the LED lights. All in, I think that this project will realistically cost me just under £1,000. Please like and subscribe and let me know which projects I should tackle next.